Say hello to Tina.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tina Brad here in Hampton, and I'd like to say hello to everybody in Hawaii. Write in and leave us messages and come on to the show. So it's good to see we have people in there already. And thank you to our regular viewers who also come on and don't sign in. So thank you. And just going to pass it back to Tommy to say hello in Hawaii.
Hello, everybody. Rev.Hawksblood here. There's a lot of problems on the internet today. We're both going to be cutting out. I'm going to have to figure out how to change it or fix it. But we're going to do the show. Hopefully you get something out. Well, Russia just launched a cyber attack on a country already. Just last night. They didn't even start talking about it yet. Russia's not going to give up, and neither is China. They've always been the enemy, and they probably always will be. We'll never be friends like people wish and hope for. But today I'm going to be talking about what people think, what they feel, what they think they know about aliens, UFOs, and how they come to this planet, what they come here for. I'm going to start it, all right, Tina, unless you want to. Well, all right. The first step.
Okay. All I'm going to say from my side here in the UK is not a lot has been reported, but there have been some more people are saying they're seeing things, but they're saying they're seeing more like small groups now of these tic tacs and lights in the sky. That's all I really want to say. Mainly, they've been scattered places around the world, not really focused on the UK, but there have been sightings. Tommy.
All right. The first thing you have to realize, there's multiple things in the sky. And the government tries to say everything's a government ship from either our country or another country, which is a lie. Second of all, satellites are different than UFOs completely. And most satellites do not have a light on them. So if you're looking up at the sky in the middle of the night, there's no way it's reflecting the sun's light. So it's not a satellite. But here's a couple other things. When things are moving in the sky, watch their movement. The speed is very critical. I mean, I watch them speed up, slow down, stop, go sideways. They do multiple things. They blink and things like that as well. But people have to go out at nighttime and spend a few hours out there. You'll see something. Believe me. If you got a clear night, make it a habit to go out there maybe for 2 hours. It might get boring to you, but you can look at the stars and try to figure out what constellations are up there and everything. And within that, I'm sure you're going to see it too. Sure, early morning, late at night, you can see a satellite, but realize how small they are, and they're pretty far out there. So guess what? You really can't see it. It's like taking a dime, putting a flashlight on it, and say I could see it down a block. No, you can't. So here's where we're going to go with this: is what people are being forced to believe and accept about aliens and UFOs. What experiences, so-called experiences, are bringing out to tell people about good aliens. So the idea of that is what we're going to talk about today, because everybody I talk to, it's not like they all are afraid of aliens. I never heard one person say that to me, ever. So they're saying, well, they can't come here because people are afraid. Hold on. So when we get into this, I talk to thousands of people over the past couple of years, and none of them ever said they were afraid of aliens. And 90% of them say, well, why don't they land here? Why don't they? So they're just the opposite of what they're trying to brainwash people to believe. And Stephen Greer is pushing the idea. Go ahead, Tina. She disappeared. Oh, no. So, Tina, come back. So, when she's back, you disappeared.
Sorry. My dog been in and out all night, and she's sorry for the door and locked herself out. Oh no, I've gone off. Oh, there you go. Hello. Oh,
This is
we're
going to be a fun
frozen.
day.
I think Tommy's frozen there. Oh, there you go.
So here's the thing. No, I was waiting for you to finish what you were saying, but you're frozen. So here's a problem, people. Mr. Greer is producing the idea that all aliens are good. They're going to help. He's teaching people how to talk to him in his mind. Uh, but the truth behind that, what's really happening? They say there's no bad aliens. We had wars with them already. People in the UFO world, you should listen. I know you won't, but try. The U.S. government had a war with aliens already. 2 times I know of in space. 1 time, separate from that, I saw. And on top of that, the wars that they had down here. None of those people in the UFO world talk about Phil Snyder, the most important UFO story out there next to the Montauk Project. All right. And you don't hear one person speaking on that, what really happened and what went down. People, wake up. Look at what's happening to our government. Look what's happening to our money system. Look what's going to happen in the next couple of years. Go ahead, Tina.
No, I was just saying hello to people coming in and saying hello to me in the chat room. So I just thought I'd wave and just say hello while you talking. I didn't want to interrupt. Sorry. Carry on, Tommy, because I was listening.
Greetings. Hi, Union. Sorry. I've had a really crazy week this week, but I'm glad it's over and it's starting a new week again. But getting back to the point, people have ideas, and they're usually programmed ideas, no matter what it relates to, religion, spiritualism, or whatever. They believe what people say. Oh, I'm a super spiritual being. I'm on the 6 level vibration. Prove it. But here's the thing, people, getting back to where I want to try to keep this directed today. The average person I talk to, anyone, anywhere, anytime, says they believe the UFOs are real. They don't have much experience with aliens because the government won't release anything about that. And the people that do have it are pretty much mind programmed. And they go into the stories how good aliens are. So people want to believe something good's going to happen. Like Jesus is coming back and so are the good aliens. And they're going to save the planet. You know, I always say, save yourself from what? How about yourself?
Tommy, I've got a question.
Go ahead.
I've got a question, Tommy. Sorry. Going back to what you said is quite relevant, what you just said. People don't believe in UFOs, but believe more in aliens, or the other way about, whatever you just said.
It was the opposite,
what is their
right?
interpretation? What do they actually think? Yeah, what do they actually think they look like? What do they think UFOs actually look like? Because they're not of this world, so they won't look like anything. And aliens, what do they think aliens look like?
Well, I have hundreds and hundreds of people say they saw a UFO. I mean, in Hawaii, somebody that I was speaking to last month saw a mothership cover the whole square block when it went over. Another friend of mine saw the same mothership, and he said the windows are all scattered around the side of it. The ship was really close to the ground in Hawaii. We don't have any super high buildings, so it was pretty low, and like it blocked out a whole block when it went over them. So what the average person says to me is that aliens are real. They have to be. They have to be out there in the universe. Very few of them say that they're really here on the planet. That they won't say because they never met one or experienced one. So on top of that, they'll say, well, I saw a UFO last night. I said, what'd you see? Well, this light went across the sky and it just disappeared. When you see a ship, a satellite, it'll go across the whole sky at a certain speed. When you see a UFO, it'll change speed, change brightness, it'll shoot out. All right. On top of that, it's traveling, when it usually travels to leave wherever it's going, is beyond the speed of light. And I proved that a long time ago. Because when you see a ship come up to you and it shoots out and it's gone with 1 split second way out into the universe, it's traveling faster than the speed of sound is. All right. Speed of sound slows down when light doesn't. People, when you come out and make a statement about aliens, especially in the UFO world, you should need to be experienced with it, at least see one or been close to one. I mean, I don't like to hear people talking about what other people did. I'm talking about.
Sorry, Tommy. I think something else as Tommy just said, like people talk about what other people said. I don't like certain words I don't like, and when they use them, like abductee and experience is they don't know. They seem to think that they're all good aliens. It's their experience with them. A true abductee can't say, yeah, wow, it was like really good in that. From my perspective, but like that, you've got to evaluate and just to
All
make it
right.
sound better. Take
I'm
away
sorry
from
what's
it.
going
You
on
know
with
what I
our
mean?
show. There's a couple questions in the chat room, and one of them says, how about a father ship? You can call it what you want. It's a big ship with a bunch of aliens on it. All right. And their agenda, they have genitalia as well. Certain races do. Not all races do. Just so you know that. And okay, the other part of it is when people talk about it, that they've been abducted, I almost promise you that 90% of all people that are talking about things are just programmed. Tina has more experience, proof than anybody else I know in the UFO world within the past 10 years. All right. When I was younger, I worked with women that lost their children. It was taken out of them, and they went to the hospital the next day. Hold on, my door's fucking up. Stop.
I'll just apologising quickly. My internet never cuts out until I do the show with Tommy. So the second I go to do my show with Tommy, all my in goes, the sound goes, and I freeze. I never had this problem before. It's only when I do the show on a Tuesday night. So again, I do apologise, people. I can only apologise on Tommy's behalf because it does ruin the show. It never used to before. Tommy used to have glitches, but I'm having some major glitches every time we go to do the show, so I'm not quite sure. It could be the radio, it could be that, but we've looked at every way around it. So I do apologise. It's not Tommy, and I feel so bad for Tommy. I do apologise.
We don't know much about Tina's radiation. She lost her Geiger counter. Did you order it? Tina, did you order your Geiger counter?
Let's go to my list now. No, I'm doing it now.
Oh, okay. Let's not forget.
There you go.
All right. Here's the thing, people. I've been involved with UFOs since I was 6 years old. I'm 69 now. All right. I probably talked to just about everybody that was out there a while ago in the UFO world. All the good people. Most of them were killed, disappeared, put in jail. All right. And that's a little bit scary because I had 15 good friends, not good friends. Some of them were. Some were just friends that were all killed or removed, or different words. So when we say good aliens, why, if we're good aliens, why would the government want to stop us from knowing? All right, I'll tell you why. It all started with Truman, because he what happened on the year I was born, 1952, the White House was so covered with fleets of UFOs over it 3 times in 1 week. They couldn't do a thing about it. All right. Truman says we got to get prepared for that. He created MJ-12. After he created MJ-12, when they shot their first ship down, 3 crashed that time, and they only showed 1. So what the government did with the other 2 ships, who knows where they went? But here's a problem with that. All right. After that, they made a deal with the alien races that they were dealing with. All right. And that deal was UFO people don't want to talk about it because very few people have much knowledge about it. Well, what they decided is you can take 10,000 people every year, but you got to give us equipment and supplies and things to pay for it. And they can't admit that. They will never admit that. You think the government's going to come out? Well, we sold out a lot of people to get chips, and they would never admit that. But if you don't think it's based on money and power, you have to think again. Now, let's get back to these aliens. Why are they here? What people think. Why are they really here? I just want to get rid of this statement. Well, if they wanted to destroy us, they would. Obviously, they don't want to destroy us. They need us. All right, people? And it's not because you're brain or because you're a spiritual being. It's because you got blood, you got DNA. I mean, you have semen or ovaries. And that's what they need most. And on top of that, you're a nice meal for them. So what else do they need? Why would they destroy their food planet? It's like saying, let's blow up all the farms on the planet. Why? I don't know. We should. No, they wouldn't destroy their food chain. You think they travel all that distance to say hi to an idiot or a fool? Oh, he's a drunk. Hi, we're here from super planet far away. Say hi to us. I mean, what do you think they're here for, people? And all these UFO people talking about how good they are. And Stephen goes, well, we're going to talk to them. What do you think they can tell you? Really? Somebody put it out there. Come on, call my show. Come on, tell me what aliens are going to tell us. How to kill ourselves more than... They already gave us so many weapons in trade, people. All right? But guess what? I don't know if you know the story about Thor, the being that was taken into the White House, or Phil Snyder's story. That's when we had an actual war with the Greys, and they blasted Phil Snyder. He's lucky he was alive, but a couple months later he was committed suicide. No, he was killed. But here's the thing, people. That was real, and they don't talk about that. All right? I know people that are friends with, like, Barney Hill. I mean, how many people believe their story was real? I mean, they didn't believe it at that time. And it was a real risk because they were in a marriage that was kind of not accepted at that time. And for them to come out to say that, you think a fool would do that, not a normal person. They'd be out of their mind to do something like that, putting their life in jeopardy and putting their character in jeopardy. Like Shirley MacLaine, when she put out on a limb, she came out and said she met with aliens, she traveled, she left her body and all that. But that was her life story, but it was true. So when people hear the truth, they'd rather just laugh at it. But if I tell you aliens are not good in our perspective, what we consider good. What do we consider good? Somebody that doesn't go around beating people up? How about if you eat people? Is that okay? So just say that they're good. Ask these people what they eat. I asked one person that worked with the tall whites. They don't eat anything from this planet except one thing. Strawberries. They said they can't get it anywhere else. I thought that was really funny, but I eat a lot of strawberries. I said maybe they'll come by. But the truth is, people, the people that have the truth aren't out there mainstream. I'm not out mainstream because people hate me. They don't want to go against me because they don't have half the knowledge that I do. I'm not bragging. I've been there, done it. I'm not happy that I was forced into it. I was in a hospital the first time it happened. Second time I was in my house with my friend. The first time he ever stayed over my house, and we had something walking around in our house. But, it's not that I wanted that. I was pulled into it. I was on my spiritual quest, which is really where I'm at right now. But by the same token, the UFO thing's always on top of me. I went out 2 nights ago. The ship was blinking at me from all sides of me. Usually it's just one side, then it was the other side, then it was in back of me. But it's not, you can't see the ship, only when it blinks on. It looked like a spotlight being turned on and off. Now, a satellite would never do that, ever. They can't. I don't want to get into satellites and all that because it's baloney. You're seeing a lot more UFOs. During the day, Sergeant 18, who I did all my work with, and we went out and filmed all kinds. We filmed more ships and creatures than anybody else in the United States up until 2020. 2002, I meant to say, sorry. And we put something on the TV. We put it on a video on where the ship stops, shoots ships out, and travels out super fast. That was all in 3 seconds, 3 frames of a second. All right. So people, they're traveling faster than people can see them. So that's why you don't see a lot. Some reason at night, they travel around a little slower. Maybe they're afraid of hitting satellites or ships or meteorites, comets, whatever. When they go to a solar storm, I mean, you see it on the movies and stuff. They ships going around them and everything. But do they materialize? No. I'll tell you this. This is a fact, people. Wait. Let me just finish it, Cena. I'll give it to you. I had a friend. I'm not going to say his name. He worked for NASA. All right. He designed any part that they needed that they couldn't get elsewhere. And he had a 20-ton machine that could rebuild and make anything. All right. I met him at a UFO conference. He didn't recognize me. I recognized him. I said, "Are you?" And he goes, "How do you know?" I said, "You remember me?" "Oh, we were friends 12 years old. We were playing in cardboard boxes, pretending they were ships and everything." So I said, "You really got to work with the UFO world, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, but I can't be involved with anything pertaining to UFOs." I said, Why are you at a UFO meeting?" Well, I want to find out the truth. So I said, well, come to my friend's house. We'll show you pictures of all the ships we shot. He came, all right, watched some of them. And he told me, how about we move to an area where we can be our own government? He says, I got the money. I said, great, let's do it. 2 days later, he says, he called me out on the phone. He said, call me Wednesday because we're going to have a big party in the backyard. I got the pool, have a pool party. And then we'll talk about the way we're going to go with this, all right? So I call him Wednesday, no answer. Never heard from him again. His children were taken out of the school. Everybody disappeared, the whole family. All right. I've been dealing with these kind of people all my life. My best friends in the UFO world were killed even.
Tommy, sorry, you've got a direct question in the chat room, sweetheart.
Where is it? Which one is it?
What would an alien have to do to genuinely prove it was good to you? What would convince you?
Come down and do something important for the planet. Purify the water, purify the air, purify the ground. Help a whole country, not just one person. You think, see, this is what I find weird. Police can have 100 cops around this person trapped in a sewer and the fire department. But when they blow up a city, nobody cares. They don't care how many people they hurt when they drop a bomb on a city. See, it's like, they're my friends. I care. They're out there. I don't care. I was debating a really famous speaker on Coast to Coast. I called in and she says, oh, no, we can kill people in any other part of the world. It's not bad. Really? She died, I think, 2 years ago, but that's what she said. She believed it totally. She says, no, we can kill people in other countries. I said, oh, thou shalt not kill people in other countries or your own country. I mean, people take lies and make them into their truth. Tinny, you want to say something? I'm sorry, she keeps stopping.
Just going to reply to a few of the remarks in the chat room about, excuse me, negative aliens. Now, good and bad. It's like human beings. Human beings are all one race. We 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 feet. We're 2 sexes, men and women, but we're the same kind of species, right? Now, we are not all good and we are not all bad. You just get good and bad people, the same people with good and bad intentions. Okay, so you have people that harm people, hurt animals, want to create war, kill other people, etc. Then you have people that want to sell, feed the animals.
I'm trying to take a picture of something real fast.
Separatist group. There's nothing in between. Now, I believe each race is the same. That's making negative alien. Well, if aliens are positive, what makes an alien a good alien? Does a good alien come here in the middle of the night under cover of darkness? Does a good alien take you without your consent? Because otherwise, how are you going to get on board? Your first ever contact or abduction experience. How do you know it's good aliens? How do you know if it is good aliens, they had good intent because they came to you, otherwise you wouldn't have been abducted in the middle of the night without your consent? Now, slowly, that's covertly, which is never a good thing, which means, it's done without your knowledge or consent or done for a different reason. So that is my question to everyone. Each time you'll take, it's not that, hey, I want to be friends with you. This is where I'll make friends with you. I'll just take you against your will, without your consent in the middle of the night. I won't ring your phone or knock your door, but I know to come to your world, penetrate your atmosphere, causing God knows what damage on a microscopic level maybe, or harm in the atmosphere. We're going to take you against your will, put things in your body or take things from your body. So is that an alien species? Does that make them good or bad? I think it's your perception. Are having these experiences, whether they're good, it's what you're classifying as a good and bad alien. I hope that answers some questions. Tommy?
All right. I just want to reply to the one question out there about Do you know what the government's doing with beings and people and animals and all that? There was a place off of Long Island in New York where they were creating creatures at that time, and that was like right after, way after the Roswell. But basically, they built this fortress out there where they cloning and creating creatures. One of them got washed on the shore, which I had pictures of. But during that time frame, the Montauk started the Montauk Project, and when they had children coming from all over the world, they were doing things to these children that weren't supposed to be done to children ever, not sex either. So what they created, when somebody talks about a clone or walking and all those different words, a walk-in is real. I could describe how it happens and why. But when you talk about the aliens landed here and they start walking around, people are having the weirdest operations to look. They actually look like aliens, but the operations, they have the lid side open, they dye their whole eye black. I mean, they're doing incredibly horrible things, putting horns in their head and you name it. So when you see something to say, well, he's an alien, let him walk through a stone wall. Tell him to do that. Tell him to make the stone wall disappear. Tell him to do anything to prove that he's something that what he's claiming to be. I was on a show with 3 people. One said he was abducted by a reptilian and had sex with him and everything else. The other one said he was a reptilian. And he goes, well, show us your tongue. Well, I can't change in front of people and things like, he had all kinds of excuses. But challenge any UFO speaker to what they're saying. Tina has proof all along the way. Most of these people have zero proof, zero witnesses. All right, now, getting back to when somebody says, oh, we have an alien. I saw a picture of a human kind of alien. My friend took pictures of her. She allowed her to. She was at a special private UFO conference. And there was an alien staring in the window the whole time. And they said it. Look, check this out. And I'm talking about doctors and lawyers, not the lower income people. These were high class people. There was 120, and they've all been abducted. So, when you say good and bad, tell me a good person. Now, I've been writing letters to Gates and Musk every day. And I repeat this to him. And I said, Jesus said it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. I always say that. Do you know what Mr. Musk did yesterday? $5.7 billion he's donating to charities. Well, it's a part of his money. It's not all of it, not by any means. But at least that's one step in the right direction. One step. If he did that every week, he would start saving the world. These people can. They could change the world to the better if they wanted to. Gates has his own way of making the world better, which is not good for everybody. It's good for certain people. When we talk about aliens, where did they ever in history help us? Ever. I'll tell you this. Somebody said that humans are old. We're not old. Humans were brought here way later after different alien races came and went and left here. The giants were still here when we came, and we ended up killing all of them. I mean, the human race have. So when you talk about things, find the truth out. Find out what really went down. All right, I'm going to tell you this before you think I'm an idiot. I'm aware of all my lifetimes back to Atlantis. Atlantis was the most, I had 2 important, out of all my lifetimes, which is probably about 200-300. I mean, some of them I didn't even want to follow because it was just useless time, which is what most people do when they reincarnate. But back to Atlantis, yes, alien races did come down and pretty much wipe most of them out. There were 9 races. They wiped out 5 races left, and then they destroyed the whole city. So, So in that time frame, we had a major change in our reality because they reprogrammed humans. They didn't build us, create us, or any of those kind of words. They programmed us with the idea to kill, eat animals, abuse, and make women slaves. That's the average ego of the people they work with, what they did to them after all this went down. Tina, you were there? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Oh, you're there. Okay, you're back. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Tina. Sorry.
Sorry, I had a bit of a coughing fit. And it didn't look too good, so I had to turn the camera off. I've had a cold recently, and I keep coughing.
I'm going to send you a link with some herbs that you should take that'll cure you, all right, of everything, all the metals in your body and everything else. And they're natural plants that can remove all the toxins that the vaccine puts in you or the virus gives you. It's incredible things you can take. Dristry, and I'm not going to say them right now because I can't even say the one of them, but you can get them anywhere and they're real easy to get. You might even be able to pick them on your own property, all right? So here's the thing, people. Why are aliens here? What do people believe? I'm going to finish. When I talk to people, oh, I believe aliens are real. I don't know if they're good or bad, but I know they're here. And some people say, well, there has to be. Everybody in the UFO world says there has to be aliens somewhere out there in the universe. Out there in the universe. All right. And why would they come here? You have to think about it. Why are we going somewhere else? Why are we trying to get on Mars and build a city there? What's going to be your pleasure there? When I start planting trees, what's your plan that you think will happen? And then this other thing, that kind of money to go on a ship to go up for 10 minutes? You could save 1,000 children from starving with that money instead of taking a joyride up into space. People do not care about people. When you say good and bad, there's no good people on hell, in planet hell. This is the worst soul ever has to go through and suffer. Think about what's happening. Why are aliens abducting people? Why are all the things they do not beneficial? Again, prove you can do something good for the world. Alnek, she claims she's from Mars. She worked with one of the people that had the religion called Ekankar and helped him do some information and get that out there as a religion. All right. But there's 7 of them on the planet. Thor was one of the 7 people that claimed they were from Mars. The White House brought him in because he had superpowers, considering what normal people have. So, people, are we ready for any proof? Go ahead, Tina.
So, no, I was just saying that it was Thor Valiant, wasn't it? He had the funny earlobes.
Well, different, depending what race you work with. Realize, I know that there's 9 major races working on this planet in some way. All right. The mantis usually don't do the work. They're the king or controller of a mothership or a fathership, whatever you want to call it. But the tall whites are not affiliated with the grays and reptilians. The what's the other one that people always say? White robe, blue eyes, 8 foot tall. The Tina, help me out there. What's the name? Can you hear me?
Sorry, you're breaking up there, Tommy. Say that again.
The aliens that are tall, white robes, blue eyes. Everybody thinks they're good.
He played.
Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied for that word, the name, but people believe they're good. So when they see them, if they come to them,
Pleiadians?
No, not the Pleiadians. It'll come to me when I talk about something else.
I've never seen one of them. I've only, yeah.
No, not the Pleiadians. They're like.
Oh, I know what you got.
Oh man. Oh, somebody will say, "Oh, I just met one."
Not the luminary. Oh, yeah, I know.
The Nordics. Sorry.
Yeah.
They believe that they're good aliens. They're not. They're on the mothership. They travel with the reptilians, so they can't be that good. All right. So I'm going to stick with the tall Nordics. Yeah, but the tall whites are not them. They're a totally different race, and they're on government property. The tall whites, their home base is there. People, you heard of Area 51, right? There's Area 52, 53, and 54. Each one of them has different alien races on them. Just so you know that. That's why everything's off limits. They don't want the world to be part of this. They can't afford to bring everybody into it. The MJ-12, which I started talking about in the beginning, they are the ones that control any information if it comes out to eliminate it. All right. Even the month after we landed on the moon, they turned around and put out those flyers saying we really didn't land on the moon. The government put those flyers out. It wasn't like some idiot that's I'm going to put flyers out. No, they put them out all over the place because what the New World Order does. What they have to do in their total belief system, they have to tell people what they do before they do it, whatever it is. And they do, and they did. We got into discussion about Denver Airport last time, why and how and all that. They are they have principles. I mean, the average person doesn't have any morals or principles at all anymore. Changing their sex, changing their body shape, changing everything, and everything else that's going on. Having sex with 10 people. I mean, all the different things that people accept now, which goes against like normal morals, which doesn't exist on this planet. People blame, oh, the aliens did that. No, we had the programs from them. We could stop at any time. You don't have to kill somebody ever. I mean, especially with an intention to kill them. And we have a lot of abilities that aliens don't have. They don't have compassion. They don't have love. They don't have all the feelings and emotions that humans have. So how can they relate to us, and how can we relate to them? For them to take a person, take Tina on a ship and cut her apart and take parts and stick stuff inside her, is that a good person? Especially when she didn't volunteer for it. She take me and do whatever you want to my body. See, we have to listen and look for the truth when these UFO people speak, because there's very little truth coming out. Aliens are real. Okay. Aliens are here. Okay. Aliens are good. Prove it. Do you know the only thing that they did, and it was probably just to show you that they were more powerful, not that they care about what we do, when they stopped all these nuclear reactors and they shut them down for an hour? All right. That was a sign that they can do what they want
Probably
with it.
just testing us.
What was that? Sorry, Tina. Go ahead.
They're probably just testing us to see if we can react to their capabilities.
Exactly. But they did shoot the ship down in Roswell. They shot 3 ships down. People thought it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. Do you know the plane over Long Island that was shot down by the, I guess I should not talk about that one, but the plane that went down with 244 people in it? And they said it blew up from the inside. On the scope, you could see the missile hit it. And people, I was out there. There was thousands of people that saw this thing hit the ship. So it wasn't like, oh, it just blew up. So, you know, that's where an army, alien base is. And wherever there's an army base, I can almost promise you there's an alien base right near it. An ex-friend of mine, John Edmonds, he has an alien base right near where he lives. Seriously. I was watching it at nighttime, watching these ships go. I said, man, the government's really cruising around. And he goes, oh, no, that's an alien base. I said, no, it's not. They're just planes or rockets or ships. No, we went there the next day. It's just dirt, mountains, nothing on it. So how are these ships and all these ships going up and down into space? They have technology way beyond. Now, when you play with technology and atoms and protons, neutrons and all that, you get different things in this reality. Disappearing is a reality. And all the things that we didn't or couldn't do. I mean, we have TV. We're going to have 3D video on our TVs, our cell phones very soon. They've been holding it off for a pretty long time already. But technology always moves forward. They want people to realize that technology is the only thing that's important. Where do you think they get this technology from? And I'll tell you, Einstein actually had a vision in his dream state about his knowledge. And he was taught a bunch of things. Tesla worked with aliens. I don't know how many, but at least 1 or 2. But he worked with them to get 200 inventions, 50 weapons, which they gave to the government. So think about what aliens are trying to program us for. I'll tell you one thing. They need the world radioactive. All right? Because they are. In case you didn't know that. They don't have protective suits on. I mean, if you get on a spaceship with them and they travel, you'd have to be protected too. You'd have to have a suit on. I can tell you a story. I can only say I was friends with one of the people that said they were one of the 7 people that went to the planet, their planet. All right. And they're on an island. I'll tell you this. They're on an island on this planet where all these doctors stay. They get taken to the planet twice a year. But they get put in a suit. They get injected with some kind of fluid so that they can stand the speed. The human body can't stand the speed of going through the speed of light. So imagine that for a week they're on another planet. So we can't do that. The technology aliens give us, realize this, is always much later. Like, okay, if they give you a ship now, it's really their ships are 100 years more advanced than that one. Because when Billy Myers came out with all his ships, within a few years they were already using different kind of ships, and he kept up with that one satellite that looked like a garbage can lid, and that's all he did. But he was real. But he made his own spaceship and had people come and they saw it and they said, "Oh, he's faking everything," and then they tried to recreate the pictures. And but all his ships they go around in a circle around a tree. Well, we want you to take our picture, but we're going to go in a circle. Why not land and say hi? Why not do all these other things? And Michael Horn is his spokesperson in the United States by his own self. I brought him on a show, and he tried to say everything's this real and that, and he never even saw Billy Myers' Alien. So when people talk about things and say they're real, how can you say that if you didn't see it? If you didn't come in contact with it, actually touch it, or even be next to it, how would you know it's real? We filmed all kinds of creatures up in Wanacue, New Jersey. That's where we saw lots of ships and we saw creatures and you name it. But trying to get people. His wife's abducted. Whose wife? I just saw it in the chat room.
I think they're just talking to each other. I think it's just
Okay,
comments.
no problem. No problem, Eugene. So here's the thing, people. It's time to really put your information you get together in your mind, not what you think, not what you feel, what you can prove to yourself, including spiritual truth. If you can't prove it to yourself, it's probably useless. Yeah, these people go on with stories. I mean, Stephen Greer never was next to an alien for real. When I I don't know if you know Bob Dean. He was an incredible guy. I talked to him a lot. I thought he was part alien because he always had gloves on and dark sunglasses. And then he was talking about the Congress, and I said, "Well, should we destroy Congress?" He goes, "No, we're going to get one alien inside it." I don't know if they ever did because he was killed. I say killed, but he died. Uh, I'm not listing him as one of the people that I know was definitely killed. I only list people that I know that were definitely killed or disappeared. All right, like my best friend and people I know in the UFO world, Ed Grimsley. It was my friend. I was going to buy a night vision goggles for $1,500. He said, "I'll give it to you for half price." He told me, they're going to try to kill me. He was dead within 2 weeks. All right. The people that I deal with know or have a clue that they're going to come after them. Why I do it? I just put truth out, not exaggerate. I don't go against the government because they have their own mission, just as humans do. And their mission's not for us, people. When we talk about government, MJ-12 is the highest level of anything. All right, beyond the president, beyond anybody, where they get the money. When the government, Mr. Biden says, okay, $571 billion is going to the space program. What are you going to do with all that money? I mean, sure, there's people can hoard that money, but what it really goes for? You know anything about the underground cities? I mean, aliens live underground. Getting back to aliens have bases next to almost every airport or every army base for reasons. Go ahead,
Where
Tina.
do they get? Sorry to interrupt you. Where are people homeless and sick in America and other countries? Environmental projects, billions of dollars sat there, and yet they keep raking all these monies back off the taxpayers, saying that they're skint and they need it back and they can't afford this, can't afford that, but pull billions of dollars out their hat. And these people are on earth are suffering. They can't even help the people in this world, let alone go to another world. That's what makes me so angry. Sorry.
No, I agree. But somebody said, yeah, Bob Dean was a really cool guy. I like being around him. But here's the thing, people. John Ford, look it up, pull him up on the computer screen, see what they're doing to him, see what happened, listen to the story. I saw his video of the ship that got crashed on Long Island. The aliens laying around the ship, and for 3 weeks the government had it blocked off with black trolls going in and out. He's still alive. He's in the nut house. People, pull up the story. It's important. UFO people should be trying to get him out of the nut house. All right. time travel is not talking about speed. It's a totally different vibration, energy. They're separate. It's not like how fast you can travel back in time. No, it's not like that. You can go back 1,000 years in one split second, faster than the speed of light. I'm trying to say. Uh, but as far as this guy John Ford, he was on the news, major news. Man has barrel of uranium and he's going to kill Congress. What? Again, you have a barrel of uranium and you're going to take uranium and put it in somebody's toothpaste in somebody's house. Really? So he's in the nut house. Every year the government comes in and says, hey, we got to reevaluate him. He's supposed to go to trial. I mean, he could even release the video at the trial, whatever. But again, the government's not letting that happen. And I feel sorry because that's the actual proof of shipping aliens, that it wasn't Chinese people or little people, dwarfs in suits and whatever they're trying to do. Somebody talked about making robots that look just like us. Well, that's true. That's why if they're a reptilian, chop their head off. Then see if it's a real one or not. Because if it's a robot, you're not going to get too far. You're going to be hitting metal. So the idea that the government's creating all these robots to synthetic war, really, that's ridiculous. They're more concerned about the stock market's going to crash and what's going to happen on Mars. So that's where everything's going. And why Mars? Because the planet is in serious trouble and they know it. All right. Take all the prophecies of everybody out there, some in the UFO world, Ed what's his name? The guy that always the Doomsday Prophet, whatever his name is. All these people and what they prophesize. Even Corey Good said they showed that the end of the world's coming soon. All right. They're brainwashing, programming us to do what we always do. Nothing good. In 3,000 years, all right, in 30,000 years, name one good thing the human race did on a spiritual level. Not on a physical level, because feeling good makes you think everything's good. I mean, if it has to do with sex, it's okay. But when it comes to what would be really important spiritually, name something. Go to church and pray? You think that's the spiritual thing to do? Being active is the first step. But what are you being active in? A bartender? Getting people drunk so they go out and have car crashes? What reality is really good in our reality? People want to say this, that, and I said, no. It appears that if it only helps one person while other people get hurt, it's not a good thing. So we try to save a country, we blow up a lot of people. Is that a good way to deal with it? People are ignorant. Men are more ignorant than women at every level, except women are starting to be adapting to men's ideas, which is scary. But I mean, in the Native nation, it was always the woman that had to make the final decision if they went to war or not. And they did make a decision here and there to go to war. But sadly, bows and arrows don't work against cannons and machine guns that they had and things like that, which came out later. So we lost the population of Native people. The United States is no longer Native. I mean, there's about 1 million, less than 1 million pure blood Native people left. All right. And that's scary to me. I live in the United States. And I think about what happened to people, our people, how they were killed and slaughtered. I mean, they were slaves as well. When they were keeping slaves, they allowed natives to become slaves. But then when they started killing black people, the black people had to run out to the reservation to be with the native people to survive. It's a ridiculous story, but it's about the sickness of a human thinking, which aliens do have no clue how we think. So when they watch us and see us do things, do they understand anything what we do and why? They got their own mission. If they're traveling through space, the technology is way beyond. If you watch the cartoon Jetsons or something, it would probably be that advanced where they are. I mean, they show videos that we're trying to get to ships in space where you can drive around the city and stuff in space and all that. But again, why? Okay, Tina. Sorry. Can't hear you.
So that's why I always say my ideology or thinking is there's not a day that goes by that we don't kill, rape, hurt somebody, pollute the planet, kill endangered species, kill each other, eat God knows what, pollute the world, pollute our atmosphere. Would you want to come here? What reason would you want to come here? And they sure as hell don't want us going visiting them. You know, come on, guys, wake up.
I glimpsed there was a question in chat room. No race is going to be able to help us move forward. No race. The only person that could help us be move forward is each of us, but we each have to attain awareness of the only important thing that exists. And I'm not going to say it.
We can't even get on as a human species together until the human species on different continents learn to coexist happily on an even basis, all the war and fighting, we've got no chance.
Oh, I can't talk about that. I mean, I have a friend that talks about the heart of the planet and all those kind of things. But uh, supposedly, I was never inside planet Earth. There's a race inside the Earth. A medicine person I deal with actually went inside, and a lot of things. But here's the thing, people: are they normally good like we are? I'll tell you this: one race specific, not who, what race it is, but one race specifically is here to keep the plates of the planet from moving. Because if they shift, it will wipe out part of the United States and parts of other countries, and they actually keep the plates in alignment. So their work is a lot different than helping us grow food or have a family or anything like that. And do you think aliens care about that? It's called population, and I think anybody with an ego cares about populating their ego name. All right, keeping their heritage and everything going on. But getting back to the point, aliens, uh, are they good? I Everyone I ever talked to that actually was abducted and had problems with aliens, it wasn't good. Only over the past 10 years, 15 years did the word experience to come out. And all these people are suddenly having good experiences. Stephen Greer wants to I'm going to say hypnotize, brainwash people to believe aliens are good. So get into communication. They don't know what they're communicating with. If it was a good race, why can't they help us? And it's not the old term, well, they can't help us until we really want it. And who's the we? How many people's we? 10%, 50%, 100% of the planet's never going to agree on anything. We can't agree on God. We're going to agree on an alien? It's a sad place because that's where all the wars start from. Again, if people became aware, learned how to work with each other, which we can't do. I mean, I watched it with spiritual people and they fight with each other. It doesn't work. Ego is a really bad thing if you can't control it. But that is why you're on planet Earth. All right. I'm not going to go into this whole spiritual side of it, but it's basically ego.
So can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? So if these are good aliens, people want to believe that are coming here for good, positive thoughts and what have you, and I'm not dissing it. But what do people believe good aliens are going to look like to make contact with Earth in the media? How is that scenario working out in their head? I mean, contact is happening. It's happened for millions of years. So when aliens are coming out into the public and they're going to contact human beings as a species, how do you know they've not already done it? My view is abduction is contact. You've been taken by a race that wants to talk
Contact,
to you or
right.
wants a part of you. You've been taken, no matter what. Someone coming to take you is abduction. Now, the second an abductee speaks out, they're not believed or something sinister is going on. So if they believe these aren't telling the truth, does that mean they automatically that aliens are liars and therefore deceptive? Because if they're not believing what genuine abductees are saying, then mankind has a serious issue. Abductees are having contact, regardless whether it's in the news or all around the world, or they land a mothership just to be filmed on TV news, is regardless, abductees are having contact. Contact is happening. Abductees are telling you what is happening during contact, what is being communicated, what they've seen, and what they've heard. Now, that is contact from another sleeve abductee, or they don't believe that's happened because you, in your mind, you think that's positive and it wouldn't really happen. It's really happening like that. I hate to tell you, it is really happening like that. And again, if you're doubting abductees and what they're saying, what does that tell you about the beings that have abducted that person? Sorry, Tommy, I thought I'd get that in.
No, it's getting late. Well, why don't you talk about your book at least? Did you hear that, Tina?
So it's rounding up, guys. I'm down to the last few bits and pieces now. Yes. Hello? Bits and pieces. I said I'll send to Tommy. I'm going
Tina, I want you to just talk about your book.
I've wound it down now. This is I normally have a copy. That's the copy of the cover. It is
so
a licensed copy. It was made for me. I'm so sorry. I do have another one, but I can't find it. I'm posting loads out. People message me and ask me to post them out. I don't have any here spare around out, and it should be out soon. So hopefully within the next week or so, hopefully with no other things going wrong, it should be out within the next couple of weeks. So as soon as that comes out, I'll let you know. But if you guys remember, I had a photo message with your address, and I'll post you out a copy. I'm sending Tommy a couple of signed copies out with a copy of my cards, and he should be getting that soon. But for me, here the day after Valentine's Day, thank you very much. Thank you for my messages before and my birthday messages for the week before. Thank you for coming on the show. And I just want to remind you guys to just think about what abductees are saying. Tommy, it's been a pleasure as always, and I shall see you guys next week. Thank you for coming on to the show. And I'll leave you with Tommy. Tina. It's goodbye from me here in Southampton.
Bye, Tina.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you. Sorry about the line.
All right, people. Incredible person. Honest as can be. Not a storyteller, and lots of proof. So, people, we were talking about what aliens could look like, what they would like. There's some races that look very much human. All right? The Pleiadians, what Billy Myers called them Pleiadians, are very much human. Just have long hair, most of them, and things like that. They look more like old hippies. But the problem here is nobody helps the people do anything good. Nobody ever did. When we take over a country, what do we do to it? What would we do to the United States? People realize good is in an existence on this planet. There's nobody doing good things. I mean, we consider them good. Well, you donate $1 million to the charity. That's a good thing. But the word that is very important, people, this word, I could talk about spiritual things much more now because Tina doesn't like to get into that. But the most important word that every single human has to deal with, it's a simple word called karma. Karma, karma. All right. Everybody has to deal with that. Nobody else can take it away from you. If you're living in a junkyard and you're put in a house, it's karma. There's good and bad karma you create daily. All right. And at this time, it's like, what are we creating that's good? Rockets, spaceships, technology that's chemicals and poison. Every chemical drug out there is dangerous to your body. When they put Coca-Cola out, they said it was so bad with Coke in it. Do you remember those days? And they took the Coke out of it. Now it's 10 times worse for your body. Does that make any sense? Of course not. We do things backwards. Instead of moving forward, we walk backwards. The human race is actually walking backwards, not getting better. Because you got better technology around you doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't give you more compassion, love, or anything. It doesn't give you any understanding of a real God. It gives you blank nothingness. If that's where you want to go, tune in, do meditation, go into the bliss state, and stay there. All right? Let me hypnotize you. I'll put you in that state and stay there as long as you want. You know that can happen. And one of my teachers, when I was doing hypnosis, said to me, you don't hypnotize people on drugs, because when they go into their high, into the hypnotic state, they feel that they're stoned or wherever they are. So, and they don't want to leave it, and it's really hard to get them out of it. And they said usually the only way you can get them out of it is let them come out by themselves. They'll get bored of doing something, and then they'll realize it's not reality. So, and people getting back to me, like I said, I had 2 important incarnations, and the second one was with Jesus. So anybody that wants to talk about Jesus anytime, I'll debate it because I know the facts about it. How do I know it wasn't made up? I got all kinds of proof to prove it by what he said in the Bible, and people don't understand what he said either. I'm not talking about it on the Mount where he talked to all these low income people for a word that didn't know much. He talked simple to them, but he was teaching disciples 32 psychic abilities, and they didn't accept him as a teacher, really, because near the end, most of them turned against him, which I couldn't believe. It was mind-boggling. I said, if you would have looked in his eyes, which I did, you would never be the same, ever. And how could you go against that? The purest connection to God, you'd go against it. When you looked into his eyes, you could see into the inner worlds. It was incredible. But people can't talk about that because how many people looked at Jesus in the face and had anything to say about it or could write about it? All right. When aliens come down, yeah, they'll look at you in the face. And then they'll do things. All right. We're not headed for anything pleasurable. We're not going to be super happy in the next couple months. Things are going to get worse over this year. Now the fighting on the trucks up in Canada, they're starting to arrest them all now. So their way of ending it is to break it down and take them away. But again, when you're going to do something, and this is what Jesus said, you live by the laws of your country or your land. When they're unjust, you change them. All right? And you don't change laws by killing people. You don't change laws by hurting other people's property and things like that. You do things by the book, and then it's a lot more accepted. I mean, what they showed I saw the video where they showed this country fighting, and it's not what's really going on. The peaceful protests. They're not showing people breaking windows and smashing. See, news is really bad. I'll mention it most of the time because the Vice channel shows really cool stuff on it. Oh, I missed it last night. It was the first UFO special. They're going to have UFOs on the Vice channel as well. But here's the thing, people. Are you ready for the truth? Do you want it? Do you want to see the world change? Or you just care about making money and having a big house, a car, and boat, and all that? See, that's programming. Soul doesn't need any of that. It doesn't help it in any way. If you had 1,000 kids, 10 houses, or 100 houses, 10 yachts, it's not going to help you spiritually, period. It never was about money. Soul came down here not to get money. It can't take it back when it leaves the body. Why would it be spending a whole life trying to get money when it can't take it with them when it leaves? People, if you just take your truth, whatever it is, and fine-tune it, go through it. What do you want? What happens? What's this? Is it really important? Does it really help? I did a show yesterday. Watch it. It's on YouTube. People, we're in a serious time, and good aliens aren't going to come here and save us. If it does, it will be a race that has not been here yet. Like the day the earth stood still, it'll be a race farther away, which will have more power than all the people that we're fighting with right now. Stop counting other people's money. I'm not counting their money. They count it. They count their own money. All right. People, this world's falling apart because of money. Don't talk about money. It's the most horrible thing on this planet. Native people never use money. I mean, tribal people don't use money. People that lived in peace and harmony didn't use money. Money comes along and then somebody wants more. When you get greedy or more. You think Trump, any of those people are going to stop wanting more money? Musk, look at how much money he made. $72 million off of the virus last year, and so did Gates. I mean, just simple things like that. Now there's a company making masks. They were going to try to make everybody wear this one mask so that this one company becomes super rich. I'm somebody's talking about the Titanic. Sorry. When the Trade Center was hit, I mean, there's a couple videos of the plane, the ship, the clone, the drone that went into the building. All right. Now, on Coast to Coast, they showed this video as well of a ship going right through the building and went out the other side right when it was blowing up. Now, I don't know if you remember Preston Nichols. He's not one of my favorite UFO people. He's dead. He died a little while ago. But he was brought in to analyze the debris that was on the ground. All right. You know, they couldn't find any burnt up computers of any kind. They couldn't find any body parts of any kind. I'm not talking about the bottom level, the top that actually was exploding when that was happening. And they couldn't prove that all those people were in that building when it happened. In other words, that ship that went through it could have sucked up all the people and traveled. That's what the scenario was on Coast to Coast. If you watch the video, you'll say, wow, that's incredible. But what really did happen? I think Putin was right. Trump should have came out and tell the truth about it. But again, they can't. When they do things, why did the third building get blown up as well? There's people, when government gets screwed up, they try to take the people that are going to hurt it away. What better way? Plane crash. The plane that blew up over Montauk and Long Island was carrying certain people on there. All right, when a building gets blown up, there's reasons. I mean, and it's always about who's in control, who's in power. If you realize and try to blame aliens, you can, because they were the ones that actually created the destruction of our thinking. And that's the first downfall we have or had. The ability to break that simply by not following everything you hear, because that just keeps those programs in your mind and your consciousness, and you're not ready to move on. And that's why you reincarnate back here, because you're attached to what's here. Try tune into one of my spiritual classes, workshops, because basically I give you simple techniques that'll help you. If you don't know how to get out of your body, simple ways to do it. And you need to, because you can't talk about something that you didn't experience. So you can't talk about soul, what it really is. People say I talk to my higher self. The higher self is you. It's somebody else. Not you're changing. Oh, take this course and you'll learn how to talk to your higher self. No, you're not going to learn how to talk to your higher self, because you are talking to yourself right now. All right, people. There's so many things people need to realize is lies, and this doomsday thing. Yes, the world's going to have a serious problem because we're creating it. Everything we do creates that, makes it more possible for it to happen. And that's a really weird question, but no, I don't want to stay on this planet. This is hell, people. Mars isn't going to be any better when they get it populated. When mankind's thinking is screwed up, period. They don't understand God at any level. And I say out of this whole planet, I say there might be a few people that really, truly understand God. And well, if you don't want to come back, you have to make sure you pay off all your karma. And then you have to see what you did in all your lifetimes to make sure you didn't create too much karma. Right? If you killed a city or destroyed a country or whatever, any kind of major thing, or just killed one person, that's karma for a couple of reincarnations, believe it or not. So if you don't want to come back, think about your whole life, what you did, what you didn't do, how much karma you have to pay. You'd have to be able to read your past lives, and then you might understand if you don't have to come back. The astral plane's no bargain, people. It'll be pleasurable when you leave here to go there, because you can't die. You can't be killed. You can't be stoned, frozen, and shot. But you do have a period of time to stay there before you reincarnate to finish paying off all your karma. But if you paid off all your karma and you go to the astral plane and your vibration is higher than theirs, you're allowed to leave it. That's a real high important secret. Your vibration of soul itself It's its own entity within itself. If you want to picture it as like the sun, it has its own energy, gives off heat and light and everything. Our soul does that. So when we tap into that and we wake up to who and what we really are, you suddenly realize this isn't important as important you think it is. People say, I want to make the world better. How? Destroying it, make it contaminated, and then have 10 children that are going to grow up in it? Serious thinking people don't want to think seriously. They drink under drugs and the drinking or lack of awareness. And many programs they were fed all their life. I don't know. Somebody's talking about deer. Okay. I think they're incredible animals. I wouldn't eat one like some people do. I'm very fussy. I don't eat meat anyway. But problem is, people that do don't even think about how the animal's slaughtered and things like that. So when Phil Snyder's story happened, and all those Army Green Berets got killed, and that story wasn't publicized because they couldn't admit that. If they released that story, the United States would be living in fear if they knew it was real. People that hear it or read it, oh, so it's a story, a cool story. Don't really analyze it. Say, if that really happened, it's a major threat to the planet, which it is. But like I said, they're not going to destroy the planet. And by making the world radioactive, they could destroy most of the people on it, though. All right, people. I hope you got something out of today. I'm sorry about the glitch on the computer line that Tina was on, but I'm gonna give it one more time because maybe I'll switch over to Zoom. But I don't know. I didn't want to do that because they added a bunch more features on this site, which I didn't get to do. I could bring 10 people on and things like that. A lot of cool little things. I could put music on now as well. So there's a lot of things that are happening on this site, which is why I'm staying here. Well, I never intentionally killed any animal. I did kill a fish, and I believe it's one of the few creatures that are meant to be eaten. All right. And why? Because Jesus made to help those people get their fish to eat. So, people, I don't believe in the Bible. Most of it's lies. I do believe and know that Jesus was real. God's real. Death is an illusion for the human body right now. The soul leaves it. The body stays here and gets burnt up, buried, whatever. Soul's not this body. Your face, your eyes, your mouth, your tongue is not you. Soul doesn't look like this. It's not solid. I mean, go like this. You can go. You're more light when you get into the higher realms. And people might not want to do that because you're not dealing with family no more. So many people are hooked on the idea of family. I watch these TV shows. My mother and father have to say they like my future wife. Why? You're marrying her. You're going to live with her, not them. And people say, well, I can't even pick my wife. My father has to pick out my wife. Really? Things like that are ridiculous. And we're still in that age to do things like that. I could talk about the Muslim religion, the Hasidic Jewish religion. What they do is ridiculous. Sorry, people. I mean, if I went into the details, you would hate it, what they do and allow. I mean, Christians don't do much pertaining to their teachings, but they don't talk about that much either, other than what's said in the Bible. They don't talk about the HARP system, chemtrails, geothermal plants. They don't talk about that stuff. The stuff that's actually destroying the planet that we make and control and use. People eat deer. People eat a lot of things. People eat anything that moves on this planet, somewhere on this planet. Cannibals ate people. They ate every creature, alligators, snakes. You name the creature, they ate it. Spiders, worms. There was I'll just say this. In New York City, there was a restaurant with, I don't even know how they classified it. They served everything from fried worms and things like that. But the meals were like $150. I knew the son of the owner that ran that restaurant. He came around to my friend, picking her up, a different car every day, a brand new Cadillac. He had five colors, and every time he came by, it was with a different colored one. But when you have money and you're feeding people worms, and becoming a multimillionaire is incredible. But see, we don't think much. Well, I want to try it. What mankind does is pathetic, people. Wake up. Realize we're not in heaven. Nowhere even close to what it would be like in a higher realm. All right, and not dimensions. They could play all they want with missiles and rockets. They're not going to get through the dimensional barrier. All right, which is around us, but we can't get into it. And then there's multiple levels of that. People are not ready to get past this one yet. I'm so fed up with this one. I was fed up with this many lifetimes ago. But I had to search, and I only found it in this lifetime why I decided to stay here. All right? It's over. I don't have a reason now. I found the answer to why I did stay. Now there is no reason. No reason to come back. So people, when you find out the truth of who you are, what you were, and then look at your life, there's probably no comparison because you were probably the best you have ever been in this lifetime. Soul moves forward very slowly. Once in a while, it moves backwards. You could be a perfect person in a family and everything else, and then go out and shoot up a school. All right? Killing one person creates incredible karma because that stops families that could have been here from coming here. And it does a number. Those families could have changed history. So when you kill one person, you're changing history. People don't even look at it that way. When you blow up a country, what happened to Hawaii? I never knew it was as bad as it was until I actually watched all the details about it. I always thought it was just one boat that got attacked. But it was everything. And they knew when you attacked your enemy at their weakest level. Meaning when all their ships were in the harbor in Hawaii. Let's blow them all up. See, you don't think Russia and China are really debating what they're going to do and how they're going to do it? I remember a video came out about 6 months ago. A guy from Russia said, we could destroy the United States in 3 hours. We could probably destroy Russia in 1 hour. So the battle with high-tech weapons, we got weapons from aliens. Russia said they're working with aliens too. So guess what? They're feeding us weapons. Why? Why would they do that? You have to think about the reasons why these people, aliens, would do anything. I mean, we eat because we have to, and so do aliens. Aliens mean has a ship. The interdimensional beings don't travel in a ship, people. If they're interdimensional, they don't need a ship to get through it. Because the ship won't be able to go through it. If you ever work with any kind of dimensional beings, usually I'm not in my physical body when I do. Because very few souls, other words, dimensional beings that are good come down here often. And when a dimensional being works with a person, well, they taught me how to get a job. What did they teach you? Tell me, anybody out there, ask your friends, what spiritual thing that can be provable as a spiritual thing happened by aliens? I'd love to see it. Love to see something really important come out of that. Corn was brought here to this planet from an alien race. Why? 90% of our food has corn oil, cornstarch, corn this. It's in almost everything we eat. There's a reason for that, people. There's a reason for everything aliens do, the same as there's a reason what government does. Good or bad. Sometimes it's right smack in the middle. But realize this, it's never for the poor people. Ever. And they have to do things because they don't want their neighborhood surrounded by poor people. All right? So we're in a really horrible space where the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And that's a statement a long time ago. And it's still real. All right, people, I'm saying goodbye. I'm not going to talk about drugs. I'm not doing drugs, drinking, or liquor, coffee, tea. Well, I'm drinking herbal tea right now. All right, people. Till next time, peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life. I hope you get it. Don't stop trying. Keep going. Learn how to leave your body. That's the first step. And you'll be amazed what you really are. Till next time.